the animations of my game are terrible, so I decided to completely rework them. I used to make them in Unity, and even though that kinda works, the animations just didn't feel right. They were stiff, they lacked weight, and worst of all, the choreography sucked. So, I decided to learn Blender, and let's just say that it was way harder than I expected. The old animations were super basic. Just two sword swings, one from the left and the other one from the right. I also had a single run and idle animations that, well, looked like this. I also didn't have a sprint animation, so no matter what speed the character was running, it always looked the same. The animations also didn't have any style, no personality, and no sense of momentum, and since the character is supposed to be something like a rogue, an agile character with flashy and quick movement, the choreography just didn't match the fantasy at all. That's when I realized that if I wanted the combat and the movement to feel right, I had to completely redo the animations from scratch. In Blender. I already made my models in Blender, so I thought why not just learn animation there too? It's got better tools for posing, timing, and polishing, so what could possibly go wrong, right? Well, everything actually. Animating in Blender has been probably one of the most frustrating things I had to endure in my life. Even just navigating in Blender was painful at first, but exporting animations to Unity? That became the final boss fight. I spent probably more than half my time just trying to get the animations to export properly. I was dumb enough to think that just saving the blend file would be enough. Well, no, you have to export it, but you know, how hard could that be? Sometimes the character would come out 10 times bigger than normal, other times they would just implode, and as you can see, I was definitely not having a good time with this. But then came the biggest problem of them all. How the hell do I even animate the character? Like, how do I pose the character? How do I keyframe? How do I make a good choreography? How do I do anything? And well, my solution to this problem was very simple. I was just gonna steal everything. Well, actually not stealing, mostly, just taking inspiration from other sources. But, it's kind of like stealing, so let's not talk about that. I decided to take League of Legends as my inspiration because even though the game sucks, it has a lot of different kinds of animations, different kinds of characters, different kinds of choreography, so I thought, why not just copy League of Legends? Like, what could go wrong? Then all I had to do was open this website here, which was really helpful, choose a character and see the animations, how they were going to play out, and just copy them in Blender. This wasn't actually that difficult to do. I just had to check how the animation looked like on the website, then I had to translate it to Blender, and after some tweaking, after some animating, I finally managed to make a good animation. And that was my running cycle, which I'm very proud of. I actually really like it. And I also was able to make a sprint animation, which looks really good. I really, really like the sprint animation. And I like how it blends together, like you press shift and you slowly start running faster, and you slowly change the animation. I think that looks pretty nice. Afterwards, I went ahead and made the attack animations. I decided to have two types of attack, a light one and a heavy one. The heavy attack would be slower and deal more damage, while the light attack would be faster and deal less damage. The light attacks were a straight copy of Katarina from League of Legends. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it, I'm just gonna say it. It's a straight up copy from League of Legends, but I'm proud of it. I actually think it looks pretty good. I try to tweak some things here and there, like make them transition well between them, but the heavy attack animations are all original. It was very difficult to come up with heavy attack animations, especially since I was doing it from scratch, but I'm really happy with the results. I think they look pretty nice. You have a stalking attack with the big sword, and a downwards, upwards slash with a dagger with the other hand. I think it looks pretty nice. I really like it. And now if we open the game, we can see that we have fairly decent animations. We can run, we can sprint, we can attack, we can do heavy attacks, we can roll. Actually not, no, we can't roll. Yeah, we still don't have roll animations, jump animations, or strafing animations. But you know what? I don't care about that. That's gonna come later because this is too much work just for animations. I gotta focus on other stuff. Learning Blender was difficult, strange, horrifying sometimes, and very frustrating most of the times, but in the end, I think it was very, very, very worth it. I think that it opened a new door for me of possibilities and, possibilities. and I'm really excited for the future of the game and how it's going to look like. So now we have good animations, so the next step is to make a good game. So thanks for watching.